here for the last piece of this video about the carbon cycle. And you should have this piece pasted onto page 61. If you have not already watched those videos that lead up to today's lesson, please do that before you watch this one. But we're looking at this diagram of the carbon cycle, and for me, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So for me, this is a much easier thing to understand than the written version of this process. But I wanted to give you both pictures, both ways of doing this, so that your way is covered. If you like the written form, that's perfectly fine, as long as we can get this information conveyed to you in some way. So let's take a look at this picture. This is a diagram that I found in the materials that I purchased for this lesson. And these key terms that we've already talked about are being used here. Now, the one that we have not talked about is fossil fuels. And so I'm going to start down here in the corner. You need to pay very close attention to the direction of your arrows. Okay? So let's start here with fossil fuels and see what's happening in this picture. I see that this looks like some oil underneath that label, and that's exactly what that is. Fossil fuels are resources that come from the remains of dead animals. So the dinosaurs, all the dead creatures that have been subducted into the ground over the years and years of Earth's existence have turned into this fossil fuel resource that we are able to harvest, or to harvest is not the word, to collect, I guess. So things like natural gas and oil. I'm going to stick with oil because that's one that most folks are familiar with. So oil is pulled from the ground and used in a factory to produce whatever. The factory may be producing tennis shoes. Any factory is going to need a fuel source. So the fossil fuel is used in the factory. The factory is giving off smoke in this process of using the fuel. That's combustion, burning. So we have this process of using fossil fuels through the factory. Combustion occurs, and then what? The arrow is pointing this way. That is putting carbon dioxide, CO2, into the atmosphere. So this particular track takes fossil fuels through the factory, through combustion, and back into the atmosphere. That's one way that carbon dioxide enters the atmosphere. Okay, so let's look at other arrows going the same way, arrows going upward. Here's one. Respiration. Okay. Respiration is coming from living things. So ocean life is breathing. It's releasing carbon dioxide into the air. Diffusion, remember, this is where air and water meet. So this one's going both ways. You're getting molecules that are diffused upwards and downwards. So this process is a bidirectional process. This is a unidirectional process. It's just going upward. Respiration, remember, the horse is alive. It's breathing. Okay. Trees are alive. They're breathing. In a sense, they're releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. I'm sorry, they are releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. And I'm sorry about all the text messages, guys. I can't concentrate with that going off in my ear. So forgive me for being a little distracted. I'm turning that thing off. Photosynthesis. Remember, we're talking about carbon here. So photosynthesis is pulling carbon out of the atmosphere. Photosynthesis is bringing the carbon into the trees. They need that to create food. Remember though that trees die, horses die, all living things die. And so when they die, they're putting remains into the ground to decompose. And that's where this process comes into play. So if you imagine all the dinosaurs that died and they decomposed into fossil fuels. They decomposed into this oil and natural gas that we use to fuel our factories. So you see how this process is cyclical. It follows a pattern, a circular pattern. This is a pretty good model to show you all those terms in use. So either way that you want to look at this carbon cycle, you can look at it in terms of the reading, if you want to read and practice definitions, or in terms of a diagram. And I don't know what the test will do. I don't know if they'll give you the diagrams or the reading. My guess is they'll do both. They'll give you a little bit in text and a little bit in a picture. With diagrams, you want to follow the direction of the arrows. That's so incredibly important. Make sure that you know which direction things are moving in your diagram, because without understanding the direction of the movement, you lose a lot of the diagram's main idea. Okay, to paste this one down, all you need to do is put your glue right here, just on this part in red, because you want that diagram, once you lay that down there, you want it to lift up so you can read what's underneath. And so this gets pasted on top of this one, and you have a way to practice, to quiz yourself on this information. Okay, I can't remember what our next topic is, but I'll see you back for another science video very soon. If you have questions, don't hesitate to email me. I'll be happy to help you if there's something. I don't feel like I've explained this very well, so if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I will help you get this sorted out. But I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon.